All right. I'm going to try and do one a little quicker. Full disclosure, I did start to sort of play around with this a little bit before I get started here, but I'm going to try and do this mostly as live as possible. So mostly what I did was I did take it over there and create a cutout, but then when I started toying with it, I realized that I think I want to do my color grade after I do the background so that I can get the right set of colors. But typically what I do, like, so this is the straight out of camera shot, right? So this is my CR3. You can see there's been no changes here. Yeah, so I'll often just kind of go through a bunch of random presets that I just collected over the years, some that I made. And the one that I think is talking to me the most is this one. So I'm going to give this a go. And if I remember, cutting her out was very well done in Photoshop. Uh, Typically, Photoshop masking is way better than Lightroom masking anyway. So we're going to do that. And I'm also going to do this edit as a smart object in Photoshop. So in case I need to come back and do any changes, hopefully that they'll be brought over, right? So, right. So first we do this. Then what I'm going to do is I need to select subject and then bring her out. So select subject. And I want to say it did a really pretty darn good job here, right? So like if we look in, the hair is always tricky, right? Hair is always tricky. There's 1,000 videos on how to select hair out there, and it's okay. There is an issue with this, right? For some reason, this particular point didn't get brought in, so I'm going to just add this. Oh, missed a spot here because I can't see through my little cursor guy. Okay, so you're brought in. And then the way I typically like to check my cutouts, if I can't eyeball it properly, is so yeah. Oh, you're right. So I'm gonna just do a solid color gradient. No, okay, no. First off, right, I'm gonna do a new layer, and then I will. Well, what am I gonna do? What am I trying to say here? Sorry, my brain got all wonky here for a second. First, I'm going to duplicate the damn layer. Then I'm going to create a mask. So there she is. Now I create a solid color layer. Something not as awful as that. Something like blue, and then I drag it under her. And so now, how does it look? Right? It's not bad. It could be better. It's not bad. But the thing is, I don't necessarily care. Right? Okay, so next thing I want to do is now Violet's just one of those girls that, she takes really good care of her skin. She's just kind of blessed, like, and the makeup just works, right? So I probably don't have to go in here and do any sort of skin retouching, but I'm going to do it anyway because that's my process. Right, so let's get rid of this thing. Actually, no, I'm going to leave that guy there. And I hope I don't screw myself by doing it this way. I maybe should do the cutout after I do the skin. Now I'm trying to think, should I do the cutout after I do the skin? Meh. Meh, it's fine. All right. So I'm going to, oh, okay. Why? Oh, because there's only two things. So for whatever reason, my particular action wants to have a visible layer on top of the one base layer. So I can't just always do that. Now, I don't need a big radius here because it is what it is. Right. So typical process, duplicate the color tone because I use a mixer brush. This is my saved backup. Right. I go in here. What I might do is turn this on so I can kind of see what I'm doing. But I'm also going to change that to black because I really hate looking at a white screen. Anyway, so do that, grab the mixer brush and do some things. You know what I didn't do beforehand? The thing I said I'm always supposed to do? And I'm just going to instantly delete this, delete the whole group. Because what I didn't do, first and foremost, is do the heal brush. Right? So now again, right? What kind of healing do I really need to do here? Little tiny things. Like little tiny things. Like, whoops. This little mouse highlighter thing is killing my accuracy. So I'm just going to clean up like literally the two stray hairs. Right. Clean up one eyebrow. Got one bump here. It's probably not really fair to call it out. You know, one tiny little blemish here. You know what I just realized? This is not showing my clicks with the pen. All right, I guess I'll just do it with the mouse until I get to the mixer part. Yeah. So clean that up. Maybe get rid of this guy. I can probably make this a little smaller. Just to clean up the neckline a little bit. Right. And now this stray hair doesn't have a thing. Fabric is pretty simple. Get rid of this guy. Get rid of that guy. This guy. Oh, let's see. We got this one goofy long stray here. Oh, I didn't get that. Wow, I didn't get most of that. Okay, cool. Doing it with a mouse is a little more of a pain in the ass. Okay. All right. Well, like I said, okay, whatever. Got a little eye squiggle here. Let's get rid of that. Why does it have a color, bro? Well, that's an oops. Okay. Why is it getting this weird color thing? All right. We're just going to start over here. I'm going to, whoa. And come here and delete from this layer. Okay. Now we'll go back to healing brush. Gonna go in way far and just remove. See, it did it again. Why? Why is it getting anything from anywhere other than white? Like sometimes the mixer brush arm, the heal brush is just dumb. It's just dumb. So when that fails, then we use the stamp tool, right? Still going to make it soft. Just going to click over yonder. I guess I'm just going to end up rebuilding their eye. Whatever. It's fine. Because way back here, you don't see it anyway. So it's fine. Good enough. Good enough for me. What is on my monitor? You can't see this, but there's like a little smush right above her lip on the monitor. But I had to do this to make sure it was in the, yeah, whatever. You guys got it. Okay, now I run my action. Do that. Okay, I already know that's a 4. Oh, yeah, I already know I'm in the mixer brush. All right, mixer brush time. Right, we're just going to smooth out this gradient here on the forehead, which really just means just kind of bringing some light into the one shadow area that was kind of highlighted. Oh my God. Duplicate the color layer, turn off the bottom one. I just did like weird painting on the retouch layer, which is empty, by the way. So I'm going to delete that and then just stick a new layer right there to replace it in case I need to go into it. Now, with the color layer selected, good Lord. Right, now we're just going to bring some of this in. Right, I'm just going to smooth out. I just lightly paint over. And we have a little bit of shadows in the eyes, so I'm just going to bring down the lightness from the forehead onto the bridge of the nose and kind of brush in a little into the ocular cavity here, right? And before, after, just always got to check, make sure you're not overdoing it because it's such a subtle thing. It's really easy to go crazy with it, right? Okay, so next thing is just kind of smooth out some of the colors here. And sometimes I will drag back left to right or right to left, just try and get a little bit of smoothness in the gradient. Like she's allowed to have a little bit of darkness under her eyes here. But here I'm going to push up from the lighter side just to increase or decrease the definition of the shadows here. Right, so you see the little parts under her eyes just a little brighter. Okay, she still needs nose definition, so I don't need to like take out this dark shadow area, although I might just smooth this transition a little bit. Now she didn't have a whole lot of like big makeup going on here, but I will just kind of enhance the cheekbone shadow by dragging this down a little. Right, and then sometimes I'll, like if they're wearing like a blush, I'll just try and smooth that out and maybe drag it down a little. Now this area under the chin is real weird, right? Because a lot of weird shadows happen on the corners of the mouth. Right, and then there's always like some oddities going on here. Like this little dark spot in the front of her chin. Right, we just want to smooth that out. And again, just back and forth and just kind of decrease a little bit of the definition, not touching the skin texture, but like this little shadow guy here, just going to wipe that guy out a little bit. Maybe brighten this particular cheekbone. This one's already real bright, so it's no big deal. If we can see under the neck, then I will do just some general smoothing, which is just a kind of a once over. You never want to cross the line like this way, because it's going to bring the dark into the light or light in the dark. So when I have a definite line here, I just follow the line and just bring it across. Right. And there is some weird like color gradation thing going on here. And if I start in the middle, I'm going to get some weird stuff. So I might just try and smooth the whole thing out so it doesn't quite stick out quite as much. Now if I back up, though, I can already tell I did like too much there, but that could just be my my preset doing some weird stuff. But you can see like what this is done, right? So I don't know if I want to bring down more of the shadow on this side of the face or not. The more you move, the more it's going to show that it was moved. So you do have to be a little careful. But if we look just at this section here, right, it just kind of filled her out just a little bit. And the chin. Okay, and I'll address this at some point. Also, you know, when we get done with the whole image, like you're really not going to notice, but like natural color, like you would think at first glance, it's great, right? But now when you look at it smoothed out, it looks kind of blotchy. But that's okay. Right? What am I doing over here? Come on. Come on, scroller. All right. So that's pretty much it. Oh, the last thing I will do is for any of these large pieces of skin, I will just take a pretty soft brush and just do like a once over and pull down and just try and cover everything. And it just kind of smooths out the little various inconsistencies. When you get to the armpit area, sometimes it can be a little weird because you don't want to like totally fill in that whole section. Sometimes you can decrease the shadow that's in the crease of the arm. For the chest, it's kind of the same thing. If I wanted to like really knock this down. Now, this side of the arm we can see a lot of. So I'm going to start on the dark side and just kind of one smooth down stroke. Right? And it just kind of smooths some things out. Now, what I should have done, because I didn't notice this before, is I should have cleaned this up. Right? I really, really should have cleaned that up. So what I could do, and what I'm going to try to do, is I'm just going to go in here with the healing brush, because it's really just a color thing. And if I, oh, I forgot. Yeah, undo that. So in this mode, I only want to sample from the layer I'm on. So if I just do that, right, I'm just going to take out, I don't know if these are bruisers or freckles. I don't know her well enough to know one way or the other, but we are going to take out these color differences. That I think is a little scar, which maybe I could fix on the texture layer, which is what I'm supposed to do. Okay, so now back to the mixer brush, palm of the hand, another place that has a lot of weird color gradient texture things going on. Because there's so much surface and they all cast just a little bit different things. Right? All right. So now if we back up, we just look at this arm, before and after. Right? Just nice and smooth. Looks like it was done on purpose. Things you would never ever notice outside of that. Okay. Right? So, before and after. This extra color layer is going to kill me. I just have a feeling. It might not though, because, and this is the reason why. I already know kind of what background I'm going to put here. So, and I have this mask that I can always do something with. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to come over here. I'm going to grab my background. I'm going to drop it in. And I'm going to make this way big. Right? And I'll just say, okay, but I need that under. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this guy onto that guy. And I don't need these two layers, but now I need her on top of the thing. Right? Boom, there she is. So obviously she's off center. There's still like some lighting consistencies, but cool blue background, relatively cool blue light, because remember where I came from. And normally this is where I would just start moving her around. So what I think I'm going to do now is I'm feel confident that I'm done editing this. So what I will do is I will just take a stamp layer. I'll just move this down here for now. I'm just going to take a stamp layer, turn that off, bring this under. Nope. Bring this under. Right? And then now I can just move her wherever I want. So now it's just a matter of trying to get the perspective right. Right? No layers are selected. This layer. Right? And then now I need to move her. Right? And I still have like all of this. Like, and it could be a thing where, you know, I find something better on one side of the image versus the other. Now she's already looking to the right. So what I might do is move her a little this way and give her some room to look. Right? Because then I can bring this over and kind of do that. But there's definitely a proportion problem here. So maybe I do that. All right, let's just see what this looks like. Whoa. Oh, sorry. Oh, what did I? Okay. Is that better or worse? Now the lighting's still wrong, right? So we have not touched the lighting. I'm just trying to get like, where do I want the background? And I can always move the background. That's the nice thing. Maybe it's just over a shoulder. Maybe it's more like down here. Like how close to us versus the trail is she? Right? I can't really go much higher than that, which is good because she would have to be, that would have to be like a really uphill trail. So this feels about the right-ish distance. Right? Because otherwise, you know, I don't really want, maybe that. You know, that way we get a little something in the corner here to offset to kind of balance the frame. I'm going to start with that for now. Now we need to start fixing the lighting on her. So we can do this a couple different ways. We can try a curves layer, which is definitely my favorite way, right? We just want to bring, oh, I need to pin it to her. So I just want to bring this down to her, right? Like it's kind of bright out, but not quite that bright. So I want to do, I think I want to kill some of the highlights. I might even bring, whoa, I got to move this point. So I might even, yeah, that's too much. Yeah, maybe not. Yeah, I was moving. I didn't think it was going to be one of those. Right? So this feels pretty smooth. Now it's still not matching. Right? Like I could make this a little darker. Curves, but she's also very bold. Very bold. So I could I can, the image behind her is kind of matte, so I might just, because I don't think I want to do full blacks. So we'll just matte it up a little so she looks kind of misty the way the rest of the background does. Also, I feel like there's more green in the background, more like a cyan, whereas she was edited with a pretty standard blue. So what if I did, I can't decide between saturation or color balance. I don't think it's color mixer. So if I did, let's take down some of the blues. Oh gosh. And then I added some green, right? Because the blue and a green is going to make a little cyan. There we go. I think we're starting to get a little somewhere here. You really don't want these numbers to like do much. I don't think I want to mess with the red channel here. Let's put that back. That feels close. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to maybe just take the opacity of this layer in general down a little bit. Not much. Like it's pretty close to what I think is a good color match. But let me also go to the green channel. And if I add some green, I'm going to have to take away some blue. And it's making it more magenta. And again, if I start messing with the reds, things get real strange. Which I kind of don't hate. TBH. This says I'm plus 113. But really, let's see, plus 610. Oh, 6 and 10 and 3. Yeah. So what if I bring the green down here? Yeah, see, taking away the green just instantly goes magenta. Yeah, and then this is some crazy modifier I don't like. Because I do want this. No, I'm not total greater than 100. Like, yeah, like that's kind of a problem. I get it. I know, I think I like it. I think that works. So, I mean, at one point, I could just be done. I could be done with this. Right? And it could be one interpretation. Or I could go back to like playing around with the move tool to try and figure out where to put, is it here? How much of the path is in? Does it make sense Does this image even make sense? Maybe, hang on, right? Like, I mean, if I did this kind of thing, where I basically just block the path with her, I mean, if I did that, I guess I would just center her, right? And then do something like that. I mean, I could do that. I mean, also, I just realized I have this weird ghosting thing happening here. And I think I know exactly why. And now I'm really mad about it. Let me drop this down to the bottom. Okay, where did that come from? Where did that come from? Right? Because like I should be able to see this if that were a thing. Like there's the texture detail. It came from the texture detail. But I also have all this color work here too. I've not seen this before. This is that's new. This is going to drive me nuts because I can't unsee it now. Also, this, what is this? Man, I'm going to have to do this again. Yeah, no, I really messed up. Look at all this goofiness in the hair. Oh, okay. Well, let's see. We're 30 minutes in, and I'm thinking, I got to do this all over again because this is no good. And, you know, from back here, I mean, now that I see it, I can't unsee it. And this. Also, you could argue the light source doesn't make sense because it's lighter behind her and there's still light coming from up above. But I mean, that's kind of the nature of fantasy photography that, you know, figure out your lighting sources. This is driving me nuts. I'm so mad about that. Okay, so we're going to do a couple of things. I am going to just trash this layer here. I'm actually going to trash a lot of these. Turn that off. Turn that off. I'm basically going to start from here. I'm going to add a layer. I'm going to start over with the from here. All right. So this happens all the time. All right. So continue here and do that. What's going on? Oh yeah. So this is up top. All right. I'm going to duplicate my color tone. Turn off the bottom copy. Oh, I should have. Since I'm starting over, why don't I start over the right way? Delete that again, right? New layer. Healing brush. Let's go in and fix this stuff on the arm that I missed the first time. Bro. I said... What? Bro. I swear, sometimes these things. All right, so I'm going to clean that up. Not cleaning that up. Just kidding. Oh, yeah. Sample all layers now because I'm in this mode. All right, clean that, clean that, clean that, clean that. All right, clean that. So this way, when I run the color layer, I don't have weird edges to worry about. So this shouldn't be part of the texture detail or the frame. So that's why I'm back in here. And it is sometimes hard to talk while concentrating on some of this stuff. Some of these tiny little skin textures you just don't even worry about because they'll get blended out when I do the color blend. Oh, I missed all of that. Let's see. Damn it. This mouse highlighter thing is killing me. I also need to be better about when I come through the flowers. Which is weird because, I mean, I have traced hair over all kinds of things, even hair on top of itself, and it doesn't like bring the hair with it through the gaps in the flowers. Like that's really annoying. Okay, anything else really crazy? Right? I can just go right over it. It's fine. Okay. I don't know what that is. We'll get rid of it. Maybe this big hair out here. Oh my gosh. The other thing I probably would do is just rotate the image so that I can use the tablet in a way that's a little more natural. Because like I don't do great with horizontal lines. Up and down is way easier for me. So I should be better about rotating the image so I can rotate the tablet accordingly. But that's for some other day, right? And then that eyebrow, that smush. Beep, beep, beep. Do I want to try this eyeball thing again? Yeah, way better. Okay. Right. Righty, right. All right. Oh, what's going on the other arm? I only checked one. Right, so let's see. We got a couple of freckles, which, you know what? I'm just going to get rid of them. I know that they're part of who she is. This thing. Oh, that reminds me too. This happens sometimes. If the clothes are betraying the model, take that out. The other thing I do, I could have also done the color brush there. The mixer. That's a huge brush. So, but yeah, sometimes you have to take care of the body parts. Just part of the job. All right, and because now these freckles are distracting me in the neck, I'll take care of those. Take care of that little guy. Okay. Now I'm ready to run my mixer brush stuff. I already know that 3 is good. It's going to stick all this crap up top. Yes, I know. I'm just going to move all this stuff down because that's where I like it, all the way down there. Duplicate. Color tone, turn off the bottom one, turn off the other underlying layers, right? I don't have any weird like hair things happening, even with both of them on, right? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Now we go back to the mixer brush and do this stuff again. All right, mixer brush, color tone, copy, 3%, 10%, 10%, 30% is the settings that I like pretty much. It's still a little on the heavy-handed side, but it's not a crazy amount. Right? So again, bring some light down into the bridge of her nose, just kind of fill in, and then I'll take some of the from the side of the nose and just push that up into the ocular cavity. You have to be a little careful to not brush light over dark areas, because then they just get like this dark area, then they just kind of look faded, which is not a natural sort of look. And sometimes I'll just smooth out the whole thing, right? I already know that I wanted to push up some light in here and then smooth it off. The other thing, sometimes this isn't a great example of doing it, but sometimes I'll just, like if she had really crazy eyeshadow, I would smooth out the whole thing so that they blend. I mean, it's going to look good naturally, but then you just kind of go over it and smooth it out just a little bit. Right? Okay. So back to a little bit this and just kind of blend this. Blend that. Bring this down a little. Maybe just a little more shadow here. Definitely, by the end of this, you really don't want any sort of like hard line demarcation of any sort of gradient. That is kind of the point. Be careful around the lips. Moving some stuff into the chin area now. I want to smooth this out. I want to have a more kind of like whiter demarcation. I keep saying demarcation like it's a thing. Anyway, just bringing some light into this chin. Now you want her to have a jawline, so you don't want to push light into the shadow of the jawline. But in this instance here, we have a little bit of a jowl thing happening, so you might want to just bring some of the dark color into the light section to minimize that. Right? Let's see, I'm going to push some light here. This big bulge of shadow looks a little weird to me. All right, let me check. How crazy have I gone? Okay, not bad. I did lose a little bit of that definition down there, which is not terribly, not really a bad thing. And I do want to smooth. I'm actually going to load this with a little bit less take 7% down here in this shadow area of the neck. Just want to smooth out this. There's a lot of shadows happening through the hair, and it's causing this weird pattern. Right, so I just want to smooth that out. Right, and then again, stay on the line, smooth out back and forth here, smooth out back and forth here. Boom. Now we'll do the hand since I'm already on the small brush. Just kind of create a little bit of a separation of the light and the shadow, right? It's a nice smooth line. You got to make sure to not bring the shadow of the wrist down beyond the wrist, because then that gets a little weird. You can kind of just squiggle this. All right, I'm back. And to figure out dinner plans. All right, so kind of like before, just like we did before, just moving some color around, smoothing some things out, right? That's it. And just because I did so much stuff here, I will kind of smooth out this area so there's no weird color gradations that would point to any anatomy things that were sticking out. Sometimes that happens. Okay. Right, so before, after, right? Subtle, but important, right? Okay. So now what I will do is I will take a stamp layer of this, turn off the rest of this stuff, and then do the select subject. And again, it did not keep that guy. So let's go include you. Right, and I think this is this one. Shoot. All right, so we just want to include this, right, and then maybe hello, please. See, what I would like to do is, oh God. Okay. I was hoping to like add on the magic tool, but it's not really going to let me do that. So what if I do quick selection? I mean, honestly, that part was fine before, right? So the things I need to look at are the borders, because they will often get all messy here. So what I should do now is select and mask. And see how we lost the border of the arm here. So first off, okay, what do I want to do here? What do I want to do first? I kind of want to do this. I really wish I'd like the hover options for these, because I have to like wait for the hover text so often. Because one of them is like a refine hair, refine edge. That's what I want to do. I want to refine the edge. Cool. Not at all what I wanted. Love that for me. Undo. Oh, yeah, I'm hitting the wrong button. Okay, why is that? That's an add. So what if I do a minus? Love that. Okay. Refine hair, good. Except this whole thing needs to be here. Why is this half blacked out? Right? Like this is the thing that just doesn't make much sense. It just kind of doesn't make much sense. Right? Because if I do it on black, see, we lose some of her finger. Like why do I have to come in here and repaint her hand? Like it makes no sense. So sometimes no, you're not gonna just find it. Cool. Cool. Right. So I definitely want to bring all of that in. Right. And it's cutting her out of the headdress, which is nice. But we can see this. This is a problem right here, right? Like why is it doing all that nonsense? I'm going to output this to selection because, right, I'm going to mask it now. I'm going to move this above, turn this on, right? And see how like we lose all this definition in here. So one of the tricks we can do with the brush, whoops, is put the brush into, oh, is it lighten? Lighten. We'll do lighten. I think it's overlay, but I don't know. We'll figure it out. Right. I'm going to just make the opacity here. So we do a couple of quick tests. One, if I just paint and it comes in like that, that's no good. Right. So I need to, nope. I need to make sure that this guy is selected, the mask is selected, and it's not overlay, it's not lighten, it's overlay. And then I paint, and then it just makes the white things whiter in the background. Right, so I'm getting all of this. Right, because then if I come in here and I look, right, like painting on black, I don't get anything. Now there's a lot of texture stuff here, but I know that I want all of that. So I'm going to make sure to bring all of that. And nothing else is transparent. All right, we have a little bit of something going on here. I got to figure that out. This is going to be weird because it's going to be weird, right? Also for the dark areas, like flip the brush and it should make these dark areas between the hairs much darker, but I don't want to lose that much hair. So you can mess with the opacity of your brush and just kind of like tap around because it shouldn't kill in areas that are white. And then you kind of go back and forth. Just to kind of help define the hair. But if you have dark areas, right, you can clean up a lot of the edges. This way. I know my little cursor guy isn't moving, but you can at least see where I drop it. Okay. Right. I think I can still, I'm still in dark mode. I can come in here and darken up the hair a little bit more, just in the mask, right? Because it should only be darkening the dark areas. No, there is this little spot here between her neck and whatnot. Like that's kind of a problem. Okay, so that's pretty decent. I'm not mad about that. Okay, so no, I mean the left side could be better, but we already know that that's going somewhere else. Right, so turn that off. Oh, I have the base layer on still. All right, so now if I put her back in the woods, don't have this weird line here. Might still have not much is going on there, so that's fine. Certainly not enough to me for me to worry about. Right? Okay, so let's put her back where I had her before, kind of over here, right? Have her looking at the frame. Coming this way, do that. And let's bring in, I don't know what this layer 4 thing is. That's weird, right? And then let's bring in the color. What just happened? Oh yeah, the curve too. Now the curve just sat on top of everything and the channel mixer, right? So, but I want the channel mixer to be just on her, not on everybody. And the curve, I also want this. So this goes here, that goes there. And now we're back to a pretty decently color graded matching image. And I'm still unsure about the background, but we're in a decently workable space. I might toy with this some more, but for now, it's been an hour. And I think I'm just going to let this sit as it is for a minute. I'll revisit it at another time.